Hey everyone, today we'll recap a 2024 sci-fi adventure movie named Dune Part 2. Spoilers ahead, watch out and enjoy. At the beginning of the movie, Princess Irulan, Emperor Shaddam IV's daughter, is writing about the attack on House Atreides by the Harkonnens, who killed Paul Atreides, but nobody has seen his dead body. She mentions that the Emperor considered Duke Leto Atreides a son, which makes her confused about why her father would want to destroy the Atreides bloodline, though she believes not all of them are truly gone. Irulan then wonders what the fall of House Atreides means for Arrakis. Paul Atreides was sleeping when he got visions of his sister, who had not been born yet and woke up. Paul and his pregnant mom, Lady Jessica, are on the run. Paul's father, Duke Leto, is murdered by the Harkonnens, and they find them. Harkonnens finds and attacks them, but Fremen's arrives on time and kills Harkonnens. Paul and Jessica request that they help them, and they reluctantly accept. They join the Fremen on their journey across the desert to Sietch Tabr. They have to take cover with the Fremen warriors to save themselves. Harkonnen scouts are on their trail, trying to track them down. Stilgar leads his troops to evade them before using their weapons to bring the scouts down. After the scouts are all dead, the Fremen leave their bodies as food for Shai Hulud. When Paul and Jessica arrive at the sketch, they are met with scorn by the other men. Some of them see them as spies, while others are angry with Paul for killing Jameis. Stilgar speaks before a council to convince them that they need assistance and that they should help them. He also tells them that they can also help the Fremen, and see signs of the prophecy that a mother and son from the outer world will bring prosperity to Arrakis. Stilgar privately speaks to Jessica. He informs her that their reverend mother is dying, and he requests that Jessica take her place. She joins the other Bene Gesserit, along with the Reverend Mother Ramallo, a place where Jessica is told to drink the water of life, which is a poisonous substance lethal to males. When Jessica drinks it, she starts convulsing, and it is revealed that another Bene Gesserit didn't realize she was pregnant until it was too late. They are filled with fear now. After a little while, Jessica overcomes the poison and inherits the memories of her ancestors. This also awakens her daughter, and she starts to communicate with her. They speak to one another and discuss how they must begin to work to get others in northern Arrakis to believe in the prophecy. They start with a plan for those they perceive to be weak. Paul attempts to get closer to Chani while she is talking with her friend Shishakli about how the prophecy must be false. She did not believe in the prophecy. When Paul delivers a speech about not seeking power but wanting only to fight alongside them, Chani develops respect for him. Later, the Fremen come across a Harkonnen scouting tank, and they decide to take action. The Fremen warriors engage in a fierce attack, fighting against the scouts and managing to take them down one by one. Paul helps protect Chani, and gives her an opening to break through the Ornithopter's shield and destroy it. As the Fremen collect the water from the dead scouts, Paul tells Stilgar and the other Fremen that he does not care about being seen as the Lisan al-Gaib, as he only wishes to fight alongside them. They accept this, and come to respect him more. Paul and Chani later sit on a hill and talk. They are admiring the landscape as the spice flows across the sand. The two grow closer and give in to their romantic feelings, sharing a kiss. Time passes, and Paul starts to train more among the Fremen. He becomes a Fedaykin warrior alongside Chani. He becomes more accepted by the women. He adopted the fighter name Muad'Dib Usul. He was named after the kangaroo mice that inhabit the desert, and was a famed Fremen warrior. He also finds himself experiencing horrific visions of him following a mysterious figure, Jessica, who is heading to the south, and the land is scattered with corpses due to the Holy War. After witnessing this, he begins to feel that war would happen if he were to become the Lisan al-Gaib. Paul is about to face a major test among the Fremen, which is to ride the desert sandworm. He walks down to a lower level of the sands, where all the Fremen gather to witness this incredible moment. Paul plants a special device that will summon Shai Hulud. Paul waits as the worm crosses through a mound, and he seizes his opportunity to jump on. Paul puts up a fight, but he eventually manages to hook himself onto the sandworm. It is a thrilling and intense moment as he holds on tight and rides the massive creature. The Fremen are cheering loudly for Paul's incredible achievement. Jessica then sets off on a trek to southern Arrakis to spread the word of the prophecy to the local people so that they will join them. While she wants Paul to join her, he feels that they are giving the people false hope, and that his joining her would lead to his visions of the Holy War coming true. Baron Vladimir Harkonnen makes his way back to his homeworld, Giedi Prime. Once there, He joins in on a grand celebration held in honor of his youngest nephew, Feyd-Rautha. Feyd-Rautha is the brother of Rabban. Also in attendance are Reverend Mother Mohiam and fellow Ban Gesserit, Lady Margot Fenring. They all gather along with a massive crowd to watch as Feyd enters a tournament where he is put up against 3 followers of House Atreides. 2 of them are drugged, which makes it easy for Feyd to kill them. But the third is lucid and puts up a fight against the young Harkonnen before he kills the man with his blade. Feyd is not too happy with the Baron after learning about this. He passes on the mantle of ruling Arrakis to Feyd, seeing that Rabban has been struggling with spice production and maintaining control over the Fremen. Mohiam and Margot discuss the possibility of Paul still being alive, as many tales of Muad'Dib are spreading across Arrakis. Margot finds Feyd-Rautha and gets him alone. Though he suspects her motives at first, she seduces him after putting him through the same Bene Gesserit test that Mohiam did with Paul. Margot returns to Mohiam and confirms that she is now carrying Feyd's daughter. Irulan, who has been questioning the attack on House Atreides, decides to have a personal conversation with Mohiam. During their discussion, Mohiam reveals that she knew that the Emperor was involved in the attack and explains why it was deemed necessary. A group of smugglers lands on Arrakis, and the Fremen immediately engage them in a fierce battle. But then Paul, amidst the chaos, recognizes one of the smugglers as Gurney Halleck, a trusted ally and friend. The emotions run high as they embrace each other, and Paul quickly intervenes, calling off the Fremen from attacking the smugglers. Gurney explains how he survived the attack before joining Paul and the others, feeling that they do not have enough of a fighting chance against the Harkonnens. Gurney leads Paul, Chani, and Stilgar to the House of Atreides' stash of atomic warheads. Harkonnen troops led by Feyd-Rautha attack the Sietch Tabor, killing several freemen and forcing the others to hide. Shishakli is captured, and when she refuses to talk, Feyd incinerates her. The survivors make their way toward the south, despite Paul's reluctance, because he is afraid of his visions coming true. Paul visits the same temple that Jessica had visited to find where the water of life comes from, and learns that it is extracted from a baby sandworm. Paul wants to test it, but Chani does not agree. He ignores Chani's protests and drinks it, losing consciousness. He experiences more visions than Jessica did, including one of his sisters, Aaliyah, who is now a grown woman and is talking to him. She tells him he is not ready to know the truth about their family, which is that they are half Harkonnen. Everyone gathers to try and help Paul. They told Chani that he may be revived with desert spring tears. Chani wipes her tears and mixes them with the water of life before putting them on Paul's lips. He awakens and speaks to Jessica privately. He reveals that he has learned that she is the Baron's daughter, which makes them both Harkonnens, and not even Jessica previously knew this. This now makes Paul the Kwisatz Haderach. He is now the male with the same capabilities as the Bene Gesserit, who has drank the water of life. Fremen leaders gather at the temple to discuss Paul's rise to power. They suggest that Paul should challenge Stilgar, which he seems prepared to do. However, Paul defies their expectations and delivers a powerful speech. In this speech, he boldly proclaims himself as the Lisan al-Gaib. Chani also argues that the prophecy has been keeping the Fremen enslaved. All the Fremen soon bow to Paul as their messiah. The Harkonnens return with the Emperor, Irulan, and their Sardaukar forces, leading the Fremen to face off against them once and for all. The Emperor confronts the Harkonnens and has the Baron's suspensor belt severed to cause him to fall and render him immobile. After ordering the warheads to breach Arakin's defenses, Paul and the Freeman warriors ride the mighty sandworms into battle, unleashing havoc on a significant portion of the enemy army. In a final desperate act, the Baron tries to crawl towards the Emperor's throne. However, Paul approaches him, revealing a shocking truth and addressing him as his grandfather. Suddenly, without hesitation, Paul swiftly ends the Baron's life by plunging a knife into his neck. Outside, the surviving Sardaukar begins to flee, but Gurney catches up to Rabban for a rematch. They briefly duel until Gurney jams his blade into Rabban's chest. Paul prepares to confront the Emperor in retaliation for his hand in his father's death. He threatens to destroy the spice supply unless the Emperor surrenders and allows Paul to take Irulan's hand in marriage, something that visibly hurts Chani. Paul tells him to fight or choose his champion. The Emperor calls upon Feyd-Rautha to be his champion. Paul and Feyd engage in an intense duel, with Feyd managing to pierce Paul in the side, but Paul ultimately gains the upper hand and fatally stabs Feyd in the chest. He tells Paul that he fought well before collapsing, dead. Paul lets the Emperor live, making him kneel and kiss the Atreides ring. Paul prepares to go for the Emperor next, but Irulan steps in to agree to the condition of marrying Paul. Before the Emperor steps down, he tells Paul that he had Leto killed because he was driven by the actions of the heart. Paul accepts Irulan's hand, gets engaged to her, and secures his place as Emperor. Everybody kneels, but Chani furiously leaves the room, as she is hurt by Paul's betrayal. However, Paul is not much bothered, as he knows he will convince Chani to forgive him. Paul is later informed that the other great houses have not all accepted his ascension. He then proceeds to have the Fremen's army move forward to send them to paradise. Gurney, Stilgar, and many others agree and march forward. Jessica speaks to Aaliyah one last time, stating that the Holy War has now begun. The film closes as Chani steps out into the sands to summon a sandworm for her to ride to unknown parts of the desert.